I thought I would do a quick update on the excavator. I put the thing up for sale about a month and a half ago, but I put a price on it that if I sold it, I would feel good about it and I could use that money to buy a dozer or another excavator, kind of hoping that it wouldn't sell. And over the weekend, I had somebody come and look at it. Now for the last couple months, it's been sitting right down here on the bottom side of my property, because when I moved it, the ground was so soft that it was sinking, and I wanted to wait until the ground was harder. So somebody came and looked at it. A guy that came and looked at it actually owns a gravel pit not far from here, and he had a similar excavator. And we started talking and started doing things, and I began to think that the hydraulic pump was not the problem. And he also felt that same way, and he kept asking about a high-low switch on the tracks, and I wasn't aware of a high-low switch. But the long story short is, he spent probably 2 hours here, and after he left, I went to move the excavator up the hill the rest of the way. I wanted to get it up here on the hill where it was not such an eyesore, and I can do the last little bit of dirt work needed on the front area down here. And in the process of moving it, I pinched one of the quick connect lines on the coupler, on the bucket, the quick connect for the bucket. And I pinched one of these lines in the process of moving it. And what I found was, while I was driving it, regardless of where I moved the hydraulic boom or the tracks, every time I moved something, I got pressure spraying out of that hydraulic line, which leads me to believe that there's a valve stuck open somewhere. And it was a fair amount of pressure. And so ironically, the guy that came and looked at it called me yesterday, and he thinks he wants to buy it, and he asked me how flexible I was on my price. And I actually told him I wasn't sure, that I basically wasn't flexible at all. Now that I'm fairly certain it's not the pump, but there's a check valve or there's a valve stuck open somewhere, and it could be as simple as a loose wire. Now I'm leaning towards keeping it, and also I found the ram that I need for it. So if I could sell this and buy a dozer, I probably would do that, because I have my excavator, my small excavator, showing up this week. So we don't necessarily need two excavators, but I don't want to give this thing away at the same time. It always starts and runs beautifully every time, no matter what. So I'm a little bit torn. There's actually somebody driving up from Salt Lake tomorrow to look at it again. So if I sell it, it's going to have to be something that I can replace it with a big hydraulic dozer or something like that. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I'm going to start doing some research and trying to figure out what valve that could be that's stuck open, because it's got to be something fairly simple. I almost wonder if it's related to that quick connect bucket coupler. I wonder if those two small lines that feed that could possibly have been hooked up bad or something like that. So anyway, I'm going to keep playing around with it, see what I can figure out.